Well, greetings, Gran Turismo enjoyers, and I decided to put my NASCAR Rumble Challenge Run video on hold. Yeah, I decided to put it on the back burner, and the reason is because the Elite class is a huge jump in difficulty. It's like a huge leap in difficulty. Because once you do the Elite class, every single opponent will take the shortcut. Yeah, there's not a single opponent that will take the regular path at all. It's pretty much the same problem as Mario Kart 64 and its rubber banding. Yeah, so I was doing this RV challenge run. Yeah, challenge run trying to beat NASCAR Rumble Championship mode by only using RV. But I then noticed that the Elite class was very hard. Yeah, it is like a major step up in difficulty. Yeah, I know the opponents aren't nearly as cheatingly, well, they're not nearly as cheating as the opponents in Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario Kart when they can jump over items, including shells. But still, it's a huge step up. So that's why I decided to go back to doing the Gran Turismo 2 randomized playthrough. So yeah, I wanted to continue with the Gran Turismo 2 playthrough and put this hard challenge run on hold, and I wanted to continue playing through the game itself as I was promised. So yeah, let's see what car the randomizer gives us today. Yep, the randomizer graced us with another awful car. Although, credit goes to my pal the Epicness 9000 for making this list. He worked really hard on trying to make a list dedicated to every car in the game, excluding the race cars, of course, because this is a challenge run. We're not allowed to use race cars. Okay, so let's go over to South City and get our car that is waiting for us. Yeah, it's the Ford Focus Ghia 2-liter Z-Tech. Still can't believe we're cursed with that car. It's not even like the 3-door version. It's a much heavier 5-door hatchback. Okay, let's see. What kind of color should we get? Let's do pepper red. Although I could use a bit of upgrades here. Just checking to see how difficult the Japan Nationals is. Let's see if you could actually beat it with its stock form. So yeah, like basically trying to figure out how you're going to use the car. And while Discord notifications go off in the background, I better close Discord. I have to do Midfield Raceway. Well, the first race of the Japan Nationals, to be more precise. Okay. And I forgot to set the controller to analog mode. I don't know why I do that. Yeah, the opponent's arcade cars here. It's pretty easy. Okay. Got another Autozam ahead. And that's a Daihatsu Mira. Yeah, could really use some upgrades because of how slow it is. Its stock form. It's a European spec model, by the way. It's not really a North American spec focus. You could even beat this race with a Basta Miata. That's how easy it is. Oh, come on. Frickin' Daihatsu's trying to get ahead of me. Jeez, it understeers at the slightest moment. Well, it isn't a front-wheel drive car, so what do you expect? So yeah, we got the first of the Japan Nationals done. Yeah, it is a really anemic car. But rules are rules. If the randomizer chooses the car, we have to use it. So yeah, if the whatever car the randomizer lands on, we have to use it throughout the remainder of the video. That's the rules. It's a shame that the randomizer graced us with an awful car. But that's the thing about the randomizer, though. You never know if it's going to give you something awesome or something really bad. Okay, what other races could I do? I could probably put some upgrades in there to be more competitive in certain races. Just as long as it's below the 197 horsepower limit. Okay, so we could really use a turbo kit. Okay, turbo kits. Yeah, it's 190 horsepower. Definitely reduce the weight because it is a pretty heavy car. At least for, well, focus. Because it's, well, the 5-door model instead of the 3-door. Definitely add in a flywheel because acceleration's terrible. And I could really use tires, sports tires. Okay, weight reduction. Yeah, I want the car to feel snappy. Okay, here we go. Stage 2 weight reduction. And get the sports tires on. There we go. We're all set for the other nationals races. And I might do FF challenge. So yeah, I can't go above 197 horsepower in some of these races. Okay, that one has a 246 horsepower limit. That one also has a 197 horsepower limit. Yeah, I made sure I reduced the weight so I can have the focus become competitive. Yeah, as you can see on the race in Japan, it wasn't that good. Has the same sound even with a turbocharger. Yeah, it's ironic that we started out with a 5-door hatchback and we got another 5-door hatchback. But at least the Focus is a pretty good car in real life. Even with a flywheel, it still has a gearing issue. Yeah, it is really snappy once you upgrade it. Yeah, so I'm trying to learn from my mistakes from last time. I didn't do enough upgrading for the Demio. But this time, I got it. Yeah, hit the wall. Yeah, nobody's ever used this car before except for me. It's the first time anyone has used it in a playthrough. Especially in a Gran Turismo 2 playthrough, but it's what the randomizer selected. Yeah, and it is a really amazing car once you upgrade it. Shame we'll be using it in the next part. Okay. I also remember the French national races being really easy because it's on Tahiti Road. So I'll probably do that next. Okay. And we also got the British Nationals at Trial Mountain. But I want to do the Tahiti Road race first because it is known to be really easy. Yeah, for every falling part, the car is going to be blocked out by a shadow and have a question mark on it. This is to basically build up anticipation for what I could be getting in this parts. Well, the exception to the rule is the Demio is because, and that's because, well, I only want the mystery part to be viable in the second part of this series. Just so that people could guess which car I'll be using. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Let's do the British Nationals next. Yeah, the British Nationals is, well, it's a slightly more difficult race because it has cars like the Lotus Elan, which are rear-wheel drive and are known to be one of the most overpowered cars in the game. But still. Okay. Yeah, the focus is pretty strong. Yeah, in its stock form, it's not that powerful. But once you upgrade it, it's a pretty good car. Actually surprised that more people haven't used that car, since it is a underrated car. Oh no, there's the alarm. I don't want that person to take first from me. Yeah, the Lotus Elon is probably one of the hardest opponents in this race. Yeah, look at how bad the gearing is, even with a flywheel. Jeez. Yeah, it still accelerates pretty slowly, even with a flywheel upgrade. Come on. I gotta make sure that guy doesn't get ahead of me. Now it's getting intense, man. That's another race done. Let me see, what else could I use it for? Could use it for the German nationals, since it is technically a German car, even though it's American in, well, the game itself. Yeah, like, Ford's, well, every Ford including the European ones, are always represented as American cars. And that means that the European Fords are outliers because they're always misrepresented as American cars, even though they're from Ford's European division. Ironic considering that Ford Australia has representation, but that's only because they were originally Tick Ford. Screw it. Let's do the other Nationals race next. Might as well do all of the beginner Nationals races because, well, this car is proven to be really good. Not now, man. Please don't get out of the grass, man. I know there's a thing called touching grass, but sometimes there's a thing called touching too much grass. Because if you touch too much grass, you get ticks on your body. Because ticks come from grass. Yeah, they always hide in grass. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Understeer is still prominent even with sports tires. Lord, an Astra is overtaking me. Yeah, like I said, even with flywheel upgrades, it still has very slow acceleration. And I installed a racing flywheel on it. Come on, man. We gotta get this thing to the finish line. There we go. That's the German Nationals done. Okay, here we go. Next up is the American Nationals. Yeah, you see these cars on the grid in the beginner events. Well, the beginner American Nationals, but, well, it's not really an American car, it's a European car. But again, it's misrepresented as an American car because of Ford being an American brand in Gran Turismo. It's always something that confused me. Even when you know that the cars themselves aren't even made in America. The Ford Focus ST is probably one of the biggest offenders of this because the ST was never sold in North America. Yet, it's depicted as an American car, even though it was made in Europe and never sold in North America, because the North American version of the Ford Focus ST is vastly different from the European model. Yeah, there's the three-door model. Got a couple of the three doors. Yeah, this is nearly the Focus Cup. Oh man. It's not looking too hot. Yeah, it can handle the corkscrew surprisingly well. Come on, turn, man. Turn. Here we go. We're almost to the finish line. Gotta really watch my braking points. There we go. That's the first half of the Nationals done and dusted. Yeah. Makes me wonder what the randomizer will pick next in the next part. Alrighty, so you might be wondering, can this car do the Super GT GT300 Championship without a racing modification? Well, we're going to find out after I do the second FF Challenge race. I want to save the third race for another time. Okay, we go. Gotta go back to South City and perform some upgrades. But first, I gotta check what the power limit for the FF challenge race is. Okay, special events. Yeah. It's 345 horsepower, so I'll be able to tune my focus pretty well. Okay, go over to South City. How much power does the Stage 2 turbo upgrade give us? Okay, let's find out. We got Stage 3, Stage 2 is 249. Let's do Stage 3. I wonder, does this car have a racing modification? It doesn't. It doesn't have a racing modification. Okay, here we go. And we're back. I'm gonna do the second FF challenge race. It has a 345 horsepower limit. Yeah, we're gonna make it into a race car, man. A race car beating car. Yeah, so it doesn't have a racing modification available. Look how fast this car goes, man. It's like a Focus on steroids. Although handling could be better. Goes real fast. Although it's limited by 5 gears. Look at how fast this car is when it has this Stage 3 turbo upgrade. It is really fast. Yeah, I nearly goofed up, but I was able to get back. I was able to gain back positions I already lost. Yeah, it's really awesome. might be wondering, can it do 80s Car Cup at Tahiti Road, the money grinding race? Well, the answer to that question is going to be revealed. Yeah. Let's go, man. We got a race to win. It's amazing how fast this car is. We haven't even gotten to the best part yet. Yeah, I'm gonna make it into a really fast steroid abusing Focus to beat JGTC GT300 racing cars. Yeah, purpose-built racing machines. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Focus had humble beginnings, but then it became a car that was ready to beat any racing car. Oh yeah. Well, as long as it's a low-powered race car. Since it's not very powerful. There we go. Gotta sell the race car. We don't need race cars. This is a no race car playthrough. There we go. Let's rock. Okay. Definitely gonna get racing softs for it since those are the grippiest tires that it has. Wonder if we can get an intercooler for it. Yeah, this is the main event, man. The main event. No intercooler. Because it's not designed to be a turbocharged car. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah, I had a case of dry mouth. Yeah, 370 horsepower. 377 horsepower. 388 horsepower. Yeah, it's looking like a really amazing car, man. I gotta get suspension components for it. Yeah. Get the whole shebang. Definitely gonna... Oh, someone's calling me. My mom's calling me. Just when I'm getting ready for JGTC racing. Someone calls me to get pancakes. That always happens, doesn't it? Focusing on building your ultimate race car beating machine, and then all of a sudden someone calls you to dinner. I'm sure we've all been there, man. Yeah, they got done quicker than I expected. I really thought they were going to be done by the time I do that GT300 race. Okay, already got the clutch. Gotta get transmission. Alrighty. And for professionals. Alrighty, here we go. No drive shaft upgrades for it. Yeah. Only a few cars can have that, apparently. Okay. Now, the wheels. We're gonna put wheels on it, man. Yeah, this is gonna have a lot of race car beating tech. Alright. What's it? Wheels. Yeah. save the game, and I'll be back to do the Super JGTC GT300 Championship. Yeah, I found the car to be slidey. Which meant that, well, I have to do another race to get a traction control system. Alrighty, let's see what kind of high-paying event I should do. Second race set in the Grand Touring Car Championship at Grand Valley Speedway seems to do the trick. Yeah. Just to show you how slidey this car can become, I'm going to show you some footage of it. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do need driving assists. Yeah, braking is not that great. But the cars are relatively slower than the GT300 field, so it's not much of an issue. I wasn't gonna do this race, but we had to since, well, I attempted the GT300 race a few times and the car was very slidey. They also accidentally downshifted on the straight earlier. Can't even take that corner flat out. Even with racing super softs. It's crazy, man. You have to brake real early. Yeah, there's the sliding nature of it. Whenever you wheel hop in a corner, the car starts to freak out. Yeah, the randomizer really seems to hate us. Always choosing bad cars. Well, hates us right now. But you never know, though. It might choose something really awesome. Yeah, that was a lot harder than I would expect it to be. Yeah. We got a new car, though. I think this one gives out the Castro Mugen NSX, not the Unisa Jack Skyline. But still, the fact that this car could do so much is amazing. Yeah, we don't need a race car. No race cars are permitted here. Because it's the rules of the challenge run. Alrighty, so let's go to South City and go to the Ford dealership and install the traction control and anti-lock brake systems. Which this is the only game in the Gran Turismo series where these are purchasable upgrades, by the way. Yeah, it's not anti-lock brakes, it's active stability control. Sorry about that. Yeah. Here we go again. But this time we got traction control. That'll hopefully prevent these issues from happening. Yeah, so we got, yeah, it already has default settings. So, got traction control and active stability management, and we're all good. How is it still sliding around like that? I got traction control and active stability management. There we go. It's a traction control system doing its job. Yeah, I can't even take that corner flat out. Which really sucks. Yeah, it's still a bit bouncy. Even with the traction control system installed. Yeah, it still brakes rather terribly. Yeah, I was hoping that this car would be a lot better in this championship. Sadly, it's hampered down by the fact that you can't even get a racing modification for it. Although I wasn't intending on doing so anyways. That one corner seems to be an issue for the Ford Focus itself. It can't even take it flat out. Even with racing super softs, which are theoretically supposed to be the best tire in the game. So yeah, I tried everything I could. Try to set the T kanji would use. And tried adding traction control, but still got a last place finish, which is embarrassing. Yeah, I was hoping that this car would be a lot better in this championship. Hopefully we'll get another win in the second round. Don't have to win every race, just have to be first in the championship point standings. At least the Impreza's not here. Impreza's the hardest opponent in this race. Yeah, hopefully this race will give us a better chance at winning. Because we're losing right now. Thankfully, this is a much better suited track for this car. But the braking issue still persists. Yeah, I'm calling it. This car sadly can't do the GT300 Championship. Yeah, like, I don't know what I was thinking here. Yeah, I was hoping that this car would do it. Because, well, it has plenty of horsepower when it's fully tuned, but unfortunately, the GT300 cars were just too much for it. Yeah, there's just too much for it to handle. But hey, at least I got a win in the Grand Touring Car Cup. Yeah, so I'm going to win a Chevy Camaro. Because, yeah, I was pretty much disappointed with how the Focus performed compared to the GT300 field. Yeah, never make the same mistake twice. Yeah. Never make the same mistake twice. Okay, so I'm gonna try it out in Laguna Seca. Yeah, it can't even do the GT300 Championship, even with max weight reduction, racing super softs, and traction control. Yeah, I put everything into this car. I can't even do it. This is what I should have done in the first place. Race against super touring cars. Yeah, the Ford Focus just has terrible brakes and it's sliding even with traction control installed. Yeah. So yeah, you have a lot of expectation, then reality hits you harder than a baseball. The reality of this car is that it sadly cannot beat GT300 racing cars. Yeah, it's just... its handling isn't good enough to beat those cars. I was hoping it would be able to beat those machines, but it didn't. Yeah, I tried for a couple hours, and it simply doesn't have the capabilities to beat those racing machines. I'm just hoping that the next car that I randomize into has those capabilities, because this car doesn't. Yeah, that was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made in this playthrough. I didn't know what I was thinking, to be honest. Yeah, just look at how slidey the car is. And this is with traction control installed. It is a lot heavier than those GT300 cars. Even with stage 3 weight reduction installed. It's pretty good for the Super Touring Cup, though. Although it's let down by its, well, inability to beat GT300 racing cars, even with all upgrades installed. So yeah, it does have limitations, unfortunately. But hey, at least I got the first half of GT Nationals finished, and that's really something. And I got myself a Castromugin NSX. Yeah, so why did I think about doing the GT300 championship in the first place? Well, I just thought that this car would be capable of beating those cars, but apparently it isn't. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Because this car, like, is good, but it can't beat any GT300 racing cars. Yeah, so the whole point of the randomizer playthroughs is is to basically try out whatever you can and see if you could win as many races as you can with this, well, with whatever car you're randomized into. Yeah. Because, well, sometimes you might get a really cool car and sometimes it gets crap like this. Okay, let's see what kind of car I got. Yeah, I got the Tom Supra. So yeah. I unfortunately have to retire this car as it is part of the rules. Yeah. Whenever the video is done, I have to sell this car and I cannot use it in the next part. So it's time to say goodbye to the Ford Focus, the car that failed to beat purpose-built racing cars. But for now, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, well, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time and peace out.